the stock market, meaning companies, new highs.
I'm not fucking leaving.
The show goes on.
Nuts! They're nuts! They know nothing!
An online network called Internet.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now.
Oh, welcome, my degenerates. The rest of your life starts right now on Market Mania. The no bullshit approach to all financial markets, including Bitcoin, political betting, NBA Top Shot, and the largest casino in the world that we barely address anymore, the U.S. stock market. Today on Market Mania, we get to the bag once again, and it's a Top Shot show. We'll tell you about the Flow ecosystem, our NFT nerds, future Chads, Top Shot strategies, and Top Shot to the moon with our special guest, TJ. Gonna trip over the last name, Laessig?
Laessig, pretty good.
All right, like the eye surgery, kind of.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's good to have an expert. Brett Ritchie's super fired up here because he has been just totally Top Shot crazy recently. It's good to have you on, TJ. Brett, Top Shot is going to the moon. Tell us about this latest craze.
Yeah, Top Shot's been going really crazy. They did 40 million, I think, in sales the other day. As you can see here, the volume is down a bit, about in half, but they had some maintenance challenges. They're still in beta right now. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's exciting. I know TJ here is about as excited, maybe more excited than I am about Top Shot and the potential. So TJ, tell us a little bit. You obviously you haven't even gotten into Top Shot that long ago, but you're an OG. 5 weeks old in the Top Shot is like probably, yeah, that's OG status.
Yes.
Just tell us a little about your journey, how you got started.
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Five weeks in Top Shot time feels like it's been 5 years, just with how fast things are moving and how quickly things are changing. But a little bit about myself. I come from the daily fantasy sports world, so have been pretty deep into that over the past couple of years. I'm a contributor over at Roto Grinders, and what really caught my eye with Top Shot was one of the more popular guys in the DFS world, Jonathan Bales, had come out with an article about how he spent $35,000 on a Ja Morant digital moment. And that was the first time I had ever heard of it. And that kind of took the DFS world by storm. Jonathan Bales is one of those guys where whenever he jumps into something, you know that it's probably sharp. So shortly after that, my friend Justin and I started looking into Top Shot, and I just instantly fell in love with it, could feel that this is the future, started just nonstop reading and watching videos about NFTs, and really think that this is just in the early stages. It's grown like crazy over the last week, 2 weeks, month, but I think that there's still much more to come. And like you, Brett, I'm super bullish on the industry and really excited to talk about it with you guys today.
You know, actually, the first Top Shot mention that I can remember, I think it was CSU Ram and then maybe Osimo or somebody. They were kind of back and forth. Maybe it was a month ago. And again, you're right. It does feel kind of Bitcoin-ish, Brett. I'm going to give you that point here where like it does feel like it's moving so fast. It almost feels like this has been around for 6 months when it's only been a couple of weeks, at least for me. But those DFS guys, those are the whales. Those you guys are the whales in this right now. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I would say that there was a group of whales before the DFS guys that are kind of more of what I would consider the NFT OGs. So these were people that were on Top Shot back in December or early January. And then I would say mid-January is when a lot of the higher stakes DFS guys started to get involved, and we've seen them pop up. And then it's just been a continual influx. And one of the things that I've been saying is that, you know, I still think that there's a ton of whales, whether it's from the poker world or the sports betting world, the stock market world, that are still on the sidelines and that are one day going to jump into the streets here. So I think
just to give them the overview, so you know what we're talking about. NBA Top Shot, NBA licensed digital basketball cards. They're called Moments. It's a little GIF in essence. And they're minted on the Flow blockchain by Dapper Labs, who signed this deal with the NBA. If you remember Dapper Labs, CryptoKitties ran into all the ETH gas issues, created their own blockchain called Flow, And all these moments live on the Flow blockchain. So they essentially needed something with low transaction fee, lots of speed, and that is what the product that you see today. Brett, I know you got questions. Go ahead and hit TJ with the burning one.
Well, I'm going to make just a comment here. This total sales on Flow of just Top Shot dwarf all of Ethereum sales combined in the NFTs too. So I think that's a little interesting.
No, those numbers are ridiculous. 67,000 unique addresses purchased.
Yeah, and it's it's not just whales trading. That's what's so interesting. The market is so liquid. Like I was trading a lot of the S2 commons, which is basically the cheapest cards on the site. And the liquidity is it's like you're on Coinbase. That's what I'm saying. This is the future of the gamified trading approach. So speaking of trading, TJ, I know you've done pretty well. Obviously, anybody that's joined, if you've traded or held stuff, has done pretty well. But what's your overall strategy? Like, what is your, I guess, like short term? Are you trying to flip stuff and then move it into more long-term positions, or how are you approaching trading?
Yeah. So when I first joined, it was probably about 5 weeks ago at this point. Like I said, got immediately hooked on it. And I was like, you know what? I want to get in on this early and make a big bet on it. I felt like in the past, I've had opportunities or line of sight and opportunities like crypto, for example. And I kind of dipped my toe into the water. And when you do that in a fast growing market like this, you could miss out on exponential returns. So pretty much the first day I got involved, I unloaded a bunch of my crypto into my Top Shot account. I didn't really have a strategy when I first started. I was just kind of like, you know what, I think any buy is a good buy right now and then figure it out later. So bought a bunch of stuff my first night, have since kind of established into a strategy. My early on strategy was really around targeting the Series 1 stud players, right? So the LeBrons, the Lucas, the Zions, all of those top end guys, and then the Series 2 rookies who have really taken off over the past couple of days. And I would just buy a bunch of each of them, right? So I think early on I bought like 12 Anthony Edwards at $70, and I think he's at $1,800 now. I've since sold some along the way, but that's one of my big strategies, is especially, you know, for people that are just getting started, is to buy in bulk on a single moment that you like. I think that it gives you a concentrated effort. That way you can just follow around kind of how the market is moving on that moment too, rather than trying to keep a close eye on 40 different things. I think it's good to get zeroed in. And then another one of the things that I've said is that if I buy, 10 of one moment and it doubles or triples, then I can start to consolidate a bit. Maybe I sell 5 of them, keep 5 of them, and then reinvest that 5 elsewhere. And one of the other strategies I've been doing is, as I get gains, taking profits and then leveling up and buying like a metallic gold Series 1, for example, and trying to build a longer term portfolio that way.
Tony, can we pull up TJ's evaluate.market? It's a great site that just shows you, based on Top Shot username, what the holdings are of a certain account. If you just click account value at the top, Tony, and then TJ, I know you're very free with your username. We do appreciate you on Market Mania here just to show us this, because this is kind of what it's all about on Market Mania. The viewers really want to see high conviction plays like this. And what's your username there for Tony to type in?
Yeah, it is TJL5124. After TJL, you should see it come up.
TJL5. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see this, ladies and gentlemen. $250,000 winner in the last couple of weeks here. And then if you scroll down a little bit, Tony, you can see the highest price moment. I mean, you're sitting on a 30K lowest ask. And obviously this doesn't affect serial number, if I recall. So that you're sitting on a 30K. I mean, you can buy a nice car for 30K. You could have this GIF of LeBron James, or you can have a nice car. And you want the LeBron James NFT right now.
Yeah, crazy as it seems, I think you do. So that is the LeBron James Kobe tribute dunk. So this is, in my opinion and a lot of people's opinion, the #1 moment that you can own on Top Shot. There's LeBron doing a tribute to Kobe Bryant shortly after, the tragic passing of him. And to me, this is a moment that is going to have value forever. I think regardless of what moments come out in the future, this is something that can never be replaced. And I just knew I knew I had to find a way to get my hands on one. So I think I bought it around 8,400 a couple weeks back. It actually for a long time was a loser for me. It was getting down to like 5,700, and then just has absolutely taken off. And this is just the common version of it, but I really think that in the future the floor of this moment is going to be 100K.
How many of these were minted of the Series 1 set?
There's 1,000 of these ones, of the commons, and then they also have like a cosmic version, a hollow version. So this is the cheapest Kobe Bryant tribute dunk. The other ones are even more expensive. The cosmic and hollows of LeBron, there's 0 for sale, and which means that the max price on Top Shot right now is 250K. So that means that all of those owners think that it's valued at more than 250K.
So can you tell me a little bit, because I did a little research. Do you know the first like packs that I guess in December started to drop? Each one $250 packs. Were those the first, or have you researched the early stuff? Because if you bought one of those, you basically opened at this stage like what, $500,000 worth.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I unfortunately was not even aware of Top Shot back then. And the understanding is also that packs would just sit there. Nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted to buy them. And now they did a 5,000 pack common series drop last night with 15 minutes notice, and there were upwards of 85,000 people trying to get it on 10 minutes notice. So
those
to
lines
me,
were. There was 50K. There were 50K in the queue, if I recall, like 6 days ago. So an extra 30,000, and that was with more advanced. That's crazy.
I mean, there was 25,000 for that 1K pack, which was a few weeks ago, but that was also announced well ahead of time, and that was also worth thousands of dollars, obviously, and these are worth a few hundred probably.
Yeah.
So TJ, tell us. So going forward here, what are you like? If somebody was if they just heard about Top Shot today, let's say that they're not willing to, liquidate a significant investment. What strategy can the average Joe take at this to try to, if they're bullish?
Mm-hmm. I think there's one of two approaches. I think if you're not willing to invest any money directly, I think that you can wait around and try to get a pack. But I will say it's very difficult to get the packs right now just because they're in such high demand. So I would recommend trying to make a deposit. Unfortunately, like less than $1,000 isn't going to get you very far right now. But my recommendation would be to make that deposit. Start with some of the cheap Series 2 options that Brett mentioned. Target some of the NBA players that you feel are undervalued relative to their skill as an NBA player versus their price, and just buy 2 or 3 and start to track things and get a feel for it. I'll also give a plug that a friend of mine and myself started a podcast around these NBA Top Shots called Own the Moment. So you can find us on Twitter at Own the Moment NFT. We're constantly tweeting out all of the most recent information that we have. I know one of the features that people really enjoy is that we always tweet out when the packs drop. So we have a ton of users out there that turn on their notifications. So because people are always constantly asking, when's the next pack drop? When is it going to be? How do I know? So we have them turn on the notification so that we can let them know the second that we hear about a pack drop. And we have a lot more plans in the future too. I think that this space is still so early. Like you just said, it's overwhelming to get involved right now, right? Just opening up the marketplace, it's like, my goodness, where the heck do I begin? How do I even navigate around? So we are working on some tools to help people with that.
We would have loved tools. And I mean, I don't know about you, Brett, but I open the marketplace, I click marketplace, then I click lowest ask. And I just like want to see the floor. I'm thinking about a 10-year-old kid. He grabs his dad. They both watch NBA together. He's like, Dad, I want to, this is, my friend told me about this. And then you look at like the floor there of all players. And what is it? You can pick up an Ish somebody or a Mason Plumlee. I'll admit to not watching the NBA.
Ish Smith. Yeah, he's usually the cheapest guy.
You're like, all right, kid, you want to spend your allowance? You can get an Ish Smith. Like, like that's
along TJ's line of how he looks at undervalued players relative to their NBA skill level, I bought a bunch of Jonas Valanciunas, same strategy, load up on a guy, because he was the cheapest guy on the site. Like he's a good player. He's 28. It's not like he's a LeBron or some amazing superstar. He shouldn't be the cheapest player on the site. For some reason, people hate centers on Top Shot, by the way. They're, in my opinion, always like 30% cheaper than their skill level represents. So there's a lot of different approaches you can take. And what I like about LeBron is he's so safe. If he had a career-ending injury tomorrow, those moments aren't going anywhere, right? But Zion, some of the younger guys are bigger risk. You see the upside, obviously, if they do turn into that really elite level player, but LeBron already has. So to me, there's very little downside other than like whole systemic risk to Top Shot. But he's kind of like the S&P 500 of Top Shot, I would say.
It's important to say that there are potential black swan events, despite the fact that the three of us, I think, are pretty bullish. TJ apparently more bullish than all the two of us. But there are events like Flow Blockchain breaks. I mean, NBA decides to cut the contract somehow, which would seem ridiculous after like looking at like a 9-figure score here, during the pandemic when they're not selling concessions, when the stadiums are empty. I mean, so there are potential, like unforeseen, we can't even make them up, black swan events. You can't cash out a Dapper yet, or something. TJ, have you heard? Some people can. Some people can.
It just takes a long time.
It's slow. They scaled so fast, and they have to do like individual KYC for whatever reason for each person. But that's how you get the NBA partnership is when you have that robust level KYC. It's not just like VPN in and whatever. So I think it's
I'm
good.
going to tee off on any crypto that involves KYC. That's going to make me pissed off. And I mean, TJ, it seems like it does seem like I hate it. Like, to me, the point of NFTs.
Would you rather the product not exist, because that's the other option?
I get that. I am willing to concede that point, where I would doubt that the NBA would have signed any agreement, and I would doubt that this marketplace would be here.
BitMEX wasn't going to launch this with an NBA partnership.
That's fair, and that's due to what I consider faults of the world that we live in today. But if you want to have, in 2021, if you want to have Top Shots, then it did seem. And I still don't even understand Dapper and how you KYC and then you shoot them crypto and it's immediately converted. It looks like by Coinbase. I mean, TJ, do you have any thoughts on that? Did the KYC process, did that freak you at the beginning? Do you not care? Do you have any, because I know you said you sold some crypto to Ape in here. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing for a couple of reasons. I think, first off, the reason for that is concerns with just massive money laundering, right? Of people just coming in, quickly put the money in, quickly taking it out. It also eliminates an issue of multi-accounting. So people, these pack drops are so valuable, right? Like, imagine the legendary pack drop. We at Own the Moment, we do expected value calculations of the packs, because when the pack drops get released, you can see all of the potential moments that are involved in the pack. So we take that information, calculate it based on the value of all of those moments. And early on, what we were seeing is that the $9 packs had an expected value of around $45. Now it's way more. And we saw the legendary packs where that went for $999. The expected value was $4,500. But
we were close, Brett. We were close on that. Remember, we just, without doing the math, we were longtime degen gamblers here, and we were calculating about 4K. We were saying 3 to 4. We were right there. I'm just saying that's
good.
Just saying.
So I think that's one thing, right? Now you don't have 100. Someone that's trying to open up 100 accounts to give themselves 100 chances of getting this $990.
I'll agree with you on that, pack. The money laundering thing seems like it. I've never heard a good argument for what even money laundering. I mean, the guy's got crypto, and he's gonna shoot it into Top Shot to get crypto out the other side. It just seems like what would ever happen there? What terrorist is all right, we got to buy the bombs. I got all this crypto here. Step 1, NBA Top Shot. We'll buy the LeBron moments, okay? Because those are like the S&P. Yeah, I mean, I don't see the path. I don't see it. But anyway, Brett, you have a strategy too, if I recall. You have sort of your own kind of.
Yeah, it's actually similar to TJ's, which is, I guess, good reinforcement. But I've been essentially just trying to time where the herd is going and load up ahead of that. And so I was in on these S2 rookies I bought Anthony Edwards at like the 200 something and LaMelo at like 500 something. However, I got impatient and was like, maybe I'm wrong, and I dumped them to move all in on John Wall, and then those guys went totally nuts, and so I was like, okay, like I was right, but it didn't work out because I ended up bitching out basically. And so then I loaded up on the season 1 rookies. I was like, well, if the season 2 went crazy, these guys are going to go up. They went up some, and then I went the season 2 commons were, once they made them limited, were, in my opinion, that was just like the place to be. And it was just wild. I mean, you saw the floor Mycon went from $2 to $8 to $20 was the cheapest card on the site. Some of the high end guys were over 100, all the way up to probably like 500 or 600 for LeBron, or no, not LeBron, like Trae Young,
Luka,
maybe, I don't know.
Luka's like 500-600.
I was mostly in that buying like the $10 to $20 guys, selling them at like 50 to 70 kind of range. Mike Conley, John Wall, Jonas Valanciunas, he definitely didn't hit 50, but I just load up on a few people and then like kind of slowly unwind it. So I think now you're going to have a lot of big packs coming out. So I'm less bullish on these season 2 commons right now, because I think the masses are going to go to the new moments that are coming out with these huge circulating count prints. So I've sold almost all of my S2
TJ,
commons.
Is there any info on that? Like, how big are the future season 2 these packs? We've been seeing 5,000 packs. Is there like a total amount of season 2 common packs is it already minted? Do they just get to decide later, or what?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, they actually just minted them yesterday. I do not have the number off the top of my head, but what I do know is that they'll be going up to 25,000 circulating count now. So up from 15,000 before. So when you go on NBA Top Shot, you'll see either a CC or an LE next to the moment's name. And so the CC is the circulating count, and it'll say plus. So that means that there's 25,000 that exist, but then the Top Shot team reserves the right to add more of those in the future. Once it moves to LE, that's for the limited edition. That means that there will be no more of those moments minted. So like Brett said, that was a major opportunity. And one of the things that we did was try to identify, so it ended up being that all of the 15,000 plus went to LE anyways. We did not know it was going to be every single one. So what we were doing was looking back at the first release of Series 2, because we felt that those were the moments that were most likely to move to the LE. So I bought like 50 Jimmy Butlers, I bought 30 Joel Embiids, and they ended up just LEing all of them. But I think that's one important thing to consider. And I think another thing is just as they create more moments and release these, I'm a little bit torn on the impact it's going to have, because yes, on one hand, it's increasing the supply. So maybe that decreases the value of the current Series 2. But on the other hand, once we have moments that have 25,000 LE, 50,000 LE, all of a sudden that 15,000 number is going to be looking pretty scarce. Right now on the site, that's the most. But like these earlier moments are going to look more and more scarce over time.
25,000 is not even that big of a deal, I think, with the amount of trading activity on the site. Like that, I will definitely be trading those 25K.
That was the first number that hit me in the face. That we'll get to that in one moment, Tony. I know you want to play it. But that in the first thing that hit to me when I was going to buy this $100 LeBron that ended up being worth like $2,000 like a week later was that I'm like, there's 15,000 of these. Like what? Like it can't be. And then I guess I haven't even looked up what traditional basketball cards, what those mints are, or even if they're known. Like just
it's not always easy to tell. Yeah.
And I searched around. I couldn't really find good data. And I wonder if that demand really is, if that 15K number, where I looked at it, from no knowledge of really NBA or even trading cards very much, and thinking, wow, that's too many. Maybe, like you said, we're going to look at that in a couple of months and be like, wow, only 15,000 for this one. And just one more before you play it, because TJ's got a wealth of knowledge here. What do you think the season 3 mints are going to be? Because if this trajectory continues, and then like later on at the end of this year, NBA fires back up again, what do you think these season 3 mints are going to be? 100K, hundreds of thousands. I think at 50s and 75Ks. I mean, what do you even, if you had to just throw out a haphazard guess here?
Yeah, I think it'll get to 100K for sure. We've seen now that they've, like in the drop down, there's a 50K now that was not there before. So we know for sure that eventually there will be minting moments that have 50K circulation. I think that it's necessary, right? Because then they can release more packs, which allows more people to get involved. And it's a simple supply and demand, right? The demand is so high that they have to increase the supply, or else it's going to continue to be this crazy inefficient market. And one of the things that we've talked about is eventually the EV of these packs has to be close to, if not under, the cost of the pack for it to be an efficient market. Like, it's not sustainable for a $9 pack to always be worth an automatic $100. Like, that's not sustainable, but it's going to take a long time to get to that point. I was telling you guys before the show, Pat McAfee put out a poll yesterday, and 80% of the people that responded still do not know what Top Shot is. So it may feel like people have missed the boat, but I really think that anyone that's still hearing about it today is super, super early when we think about the big picture here and the many more series to come, the many more seasons to come, the possibility of getting into sports outside of the NBA. I really do think that the opportunity is pretty limitless in this space.
All right, Tony, I know you got your hand on the trigger finger. We had a tweet from, what's the gentleman's name? Let's give this guy proper credit, because this is some funny shit right here. So we got, play this one. This is hilarious. Just showing off my NFT collection.
Okay, so this is my NBA Top Shot. It's a digital clip of a highlight on the blockchain. Okay, so this is my NBA Top Shot.
Yeah, so you mentioned 80% of people don't even know what these are, and right out the gate when you start talking about it, you're going to get a lot of, stares like that and laughter. But I think this time next year, when you start mentioning you've got Top Shot NFTs from Season 1, these girls will have a different expression on their face after that. So that's the way I see it going.
I've given Brett one more point for similar to early Bitcoin. Boy, they were making fun of old Mycon back then. Boy, did they they gave it to me back then. So it's fun to be on the laughing side. What about TJ? One more on this, just because I'm still wrapping my head around Top Shot.
Absolutely.
Despite these early mints that I see, and there's it's too much for me to follow. Hollow 1, Season 1, like special drop. These early stuff, I see 35, I see 50 minted, and the number ones of these early 50s and 35 mints. And what the hell is what's the ceiling? What's the ceiling there in a year or two? What do you think is the ceiling on some of those super duper special cards?
Yeah, well, we know that a Mike Trout baseball card went for $5 million, right? So I see no reason why a LeBron number 1 or a LeBron number 23 Kobe tribute dunk Cosmic can't go for close to that amount.
How many were the Cosmics? How many minted on the Cosmics?
I think there are 59 of the Cosmics and 32 of the Hollow.
How does he scroll the site to find those early packs? I know there was some strange navigation. I know there's still so beta.
I think you just keep going down on packs.
If you go up to collect, or you don't have collection. You got to find the sets page.
View more down there. Oh, sets page.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Keep going down. Keep going down. Go down. View more. Down. View more. Oh yeah. See, now we get into that early stuff.
Cosmic 230 for a Cosmic pack. That would be. I don't know what people would pay for one of those. 6 figures for sure right now.
Is there unopened? Are there unopened Cosmic packs? Because I remember Brett told me something crazy, saying I might not open it and just wait till the marketplace allows you to sell.
That was dumb. That was dumb. Well, I'm glad I didn't do that.
We're throwing out ideas, 12 minutes after finding something.
To be fair, those packs are appreciating quite a bit, but I still think getting active in the market is going to have a better return.
What are these legendary packs here? What did you $24 if you aped in at the beginning?
Yeah, there's guys that have made over 10 million on a few K. More than that, because they're early.
What's the biggest score you've heard of, TJ?
The biggest account I think is 20 million or so worth, other than the Top Shot account.
Well, so the biggest account is this Whale Vault. I don't know if you've heard about the Whale Vault. So Whale Vault is basically like an ETF of
an ETF,
or not an ETF. Maybe that's not the right word for it. It's like an index. It's like an index hedge fund. Yeah. So basically, they have it. I think it's $whale. You can invest in that. And as a part of that, they have a massive Top Shot portfolio. So that's a $36 million account.
Can you evaluate that market that? Can you see?
Yeah,
they're all
on the
there.
homepage. They have it. Yeah.
If you go to momentranks.com, also they have like a descending leaderboard, and they try and factor in serial number also. So, but yeah, there's as we can talk about now, we're in the Flow ecosystem. There's a lot of businesses, and there's a lot of potential, right, for people building on top of Top Shot. TJ, I know you obviously doing the podcast. You said you're looking to scale out into some other opportunities. There's like sites that are like a coin market cap for the Top Shots. There's the Evaluate Market. I think a lot of the block explorers are going to come out. I mean, the possibilities are endless. One thing I think is going to be kind of cool, eventually, it's very centralized right now, but eventually you're going to be able to cash out your Top Shots. And so Micon, a guy like you who's okay with a little, gray market kind of gambling, you may want to take your Top Shots out of Dapper's more like centralized platform and fire them into something. Maybe Arthur Hayes builds like a derivative casino on Top Shot type of thing. And you can go like, that's the beauty of this. It's not just like you can only trade them on this Dapper marketplace. Eventually other mechanisms for trading and gambling with Top Shots are going to be created.
I will have to dig into the Flow blockchain. TJ, have you dug deep into the technicals of the Flow blockchain and to the stuff that Brett described about like taking them out or owning them in a different wallet or something?
Yeah. So the whole idea with the blockchain, right, is that everything exists on. And I will preface, I'm not a blockchain expert, so apologies if I get anything wrong.
No, okay, no worries.
My simplistic understanding is that it's one code base, right? So anything that gets built on a certain blockchain can be transferred within certain projects that exist on that blockchain. So take Ethereum as the first example, right? Where you have all of the assets that you can buy that you can see on OpenSea. You have things like Decentraland, where you can, buy a piece of digital art and then put that NFT into your house in Decentraland. And
I'm giving you a C plus on this explanation. I'm giving you a C plus. I'm going to give you a B minus. I'm going to go B minus C plus on this. But it's going to be interesting if there is wallets that are not connected to Top Shot that hold these things, which I don't know if they are or aren't now. And if somebody,
I don't think you can cash them out yet, but you that's on the roadmap. Like,
yeah, that'll be interesting to me when you can hold it essentially in a non KYC wallet with essentially just sock it away with your bars of gold. And when Tony goes out and buries his silver, if he throws on like a cold bit steel, with with a seed that has a couple of his Top Shots on there, you know what I'm saying? Like just that kind of level of storage is just
one thing I think will be cool is everyone loves levered trading right now, and offering that on like the biggest markets, right? The most liquid markets, like LeBron. Right, like the LeBron Common, the cheap LeBron Common. Let people go 10 or 100x long over on that market. You can do it on. Obviously, it's going to be some totally different site, but I think that the possibilities are endless, and this is the future of how I think a lot of these markets and businesses will go. That's one of the reasons I'm so bullish on this. I think this user experience, like it's been slightly rocky with some of the technical difficulties, but it's scaling so fast. Like to me, I'm blown away by the product. I'm blown away by how quickly they're resolving a lot of these issues. And I think it's just going to be tough for like a normie centralized, whether gambling or trading site, to compete with this in the long term. I think this is like a massive paradigm change, as people like John McAfee like to say. This is a new paradigm.
Are we going to tokenize hop on pop here? And like you're just going to, is that UFC, really what's coming?
By the way,
buy, sell, and trade. Did Dr. Seuss collectibles?
I mean, those will be fire, man. I'll get, dude, the number one Cat in the Hat. Like, that's a 6-figure card.
Ladies and gentlemen,
like that's 6 figures, 7 maybe.
Kids out there, ladies and gentlemen, like if you ever think, oh, okay, I missed the Bitcoin. Oh, I missed the Ethereum. I've missed Solana already and the FTT token and BNB and like everyone's getting hilariously rich but me. Never think that like this is the last thing that is an opportunity. There's opportunity. The velocity of opportunities being created, specifically with blockchain technology mostly, but also everywhere else. You don't even need to just look there. opportunity is everywhere, and there will be another opportunity by the end of this year, probably within a month or two.
They're popping up. Just honestly, get in early. Like I was stupid not to join Top Shot. I'd heard of it. I got the email in October.
Tell the beat. You have to tell the beat. Tell them about your email.
Whatever. I signed up somehow for the beta, and then I never signed up, and so like that is a mistake, obviously. The other thing, CryptoPunks, they were free, by the way. The things that are going for like 6 and 7 figures now, those were free. So I think the one lesson I'm taking away is poking around really early crypto stuff is just like the ROI for your time. It's high risk, high reward, massive reward.
You see, guys, this is how the Flow blockchain works. You can see execution happens. You see all the blocks there. That goes into verification, and it pumps them out the other end after consensus. That's how it works. Here's
my bag of money. Yeah,
I do think one of the
shut up and take my money after that GIF. Shout to the designer that made that GIF. That's bringing up the value.
You got some Flow tokens for that.
All right, they're not going to shard. That's good. So we will dig more into that, and then Tony, before we get to the bag, and you reach deep into your sack. I got a question here that is, of course, Top Shot related. By the way, Bitcoin bounced a little bit, 58K down. S&P 500 bounced a little bit today after some down days. Gold lagging behind just a hair. But we do sometimes follow the other markets. Question from Paper Hands Miller. And he says, the cool cats that are needed for the LaMelo, do you think this is a good buy now? It's already costing 10,000 plus.
Yeah, I think it's tough to buy it right now. I personally am experimenting with something. I had 11 of the 11 cool cats, and then that Luka Doncic, which was the reward of the first cool cats, got up to like 7,500. And I thought it was crazy when the Luka got to 5K. And so I actually sold, even though I had 11, I sold my Luka, not because I don't think that the Master Challenge is worth it, but to me, everything is opportunity cost right now, right? Like if you've been in Top Shot in the last week, there's almost no way that you haven't made a ton of money. So everyone is going to feel like they're doing the right thing, but it's like, okay, maybe you 2x'd or 3x'd, but could you have 5x'd, 6x'd, 7x'd? And so what I actually did with my personal Luka is that I sold the Luka's series, the Cool Cat for 7,400, and then bought like 10 of the $500 Lukas because I thought that the chances of the $500 Luka going to 1,000 or 1,500 is better than the Cool Cats going to doubling or tripling. So I think that the Master Challenge is something that I'll be keeping an eye on, but I think it's getting crazy expensive, and I think there's a chance that it's better spending your time elsewhere because I think those prices are pretty inflated right now.
What do you think the total cost will be to complete that challenge? Let's say you had all 11 now. Let's say you already had your Luka, you socked it away, you didn't sell it. What do you think? Because there's a CryptoKitties shenanigans card that'll hit the market, and then you have to ape into the entire next 2 sets. You're probably not going to get a pack, right? You probably only have 7-8% to get a pack at current levels, and you would assume that more and more people are going to keep piling in. So what I mean, you're going to have to buy up all of the moments. If you had to just throw out hazard a guess at the cost to complete the All-Star Challenge, and then you could factor in the 11K or so that it costs right now, or what is it? Is it 11?
It's at 15 actually. I'm looking right now.
15 now.
It's been as high as 18K, and now it's down to 15K. We have a little chart
for just these 11 for these 11 and the 5.
Just for the 11, yeah.
And does that count the 5 other ones for AD? I guess that's only like 1,000.
No, it doesn't even. That doesn't even count the other. It counts the other ones for AD, but it's just the 11 cool cats that exist.
Okay. I'm in that for 1,500, luckily enough, and so I'm still planning to go for the Master. But again, as you say, if the prices get
what's the cost?
So insane,
throw out a guess.
15K. I mean, it's probably 25K now. If you're buying 15 here, the other set, you're looking 25, 35K. But I think the floor on the LaMelo is probably going to be 25 at this point. It's going to be his main card that people want to get, and so I think a ton of people that went through all the links to get it are just going to vault it. So there's not going to be a lot of liquidity on the market. You'll have some dump right away, and then
give me a number, both of you. Give me a number, both of you. Total cost for Master Challenge starting now. Let's say you had 15K
I'll
now.
Go 30,
if you don't already have them.
35
total, including the 15, but so an extra 20.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say 50 because the Anthony Davis reward itself is probably going to be another 5K.
But you don't have to buy that if you're.
What if you generate?
But you're generating it, so he doesn't.
Okay. I was thinking of it as if I wanted to at the end. What is the code?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's a good. No, that's a good number too. At the end, right before that mellow card, 50K, and then if you play it all the way up, maybe what can we sneak in for 10 ball on the way up? Generate that.
Yeah.
The two other cool cats that are going to be. It's crazy.
I'll tell you what has definitely proved to be a good strategy is that on whenever the next Cool Cats pack releases for Cool Cats 3. To buy up as many as you can that first night because the prices are going
I only
to
went to complete the challenge, but I was like a 70, a 60, 100, and 130 is what I paid. So it's like 380 for 4, and then none of them are even 380 for 1 right now. They're all I think Hero's over 1,000.
Yep, he is.
So
we had Osimo on our show on Monday, who's a big time, the number 1 ranked daily fantasy sports player, and he owns 190 Cool Cats. He just bought all of them on the first night.
He's a super sharp guy.
M2 is going to have something to say. M2 is going to have something to say about you labeling Osimo as the number 1 DFS player. I'm just saying.
Just the way it's ranked.
Show.
Oh, number 1 ranked. I did not say the best DFS player.
No,
just the number 1 ranked on Roto-Grinders.
Fair.
I'm sticking to the facts here.
Friend of the show. Just got to clarify that. M2, you're still the GOAT. You're still the GOAT.
Immense respect for Empire Maker, and I have him blocked on DraftKings.
And so you think that this is crazy. I can't wait to see how this plays out over the next couple of weeks here. And Tony, do you have your bag? Yes, you do. Okay, that's good. He's got it open. If you would reach into that sack and see what questions we have. Brett, if you would look at Twitter just to make sure that we didn't have anybody. This is a great show. And TJ, we appreciate you coming on. Own the Moment is the podcast. You can find them and get these hot nuggets. Probably the most plus EV thing you said was buying those Cool Cats when the pack's open. A lot of people, they get lucky. They get their $14 Cool Cat pack. They open it up and find, $700 in there. For them, that's the score right there. They're probably not thinking, all right, I need to make some moves in my life, get a second mortgage on the house, ape in 50K and get a mellow. That's probably not most people's mindset. You come from a world like Brett and I, where that is somehow the first thing that we think about, and we're not normal people, but that's good. Tony, what do we got?
Evan in chat is asking, does TJ think any other sports will emerge like Top Shots? He mentions Wax as a partnership with Tops, which means MLB potentially. Wax is the one who just did Street Fighter. So I can just say off the bat, I'm excited to get ridiculously rich off of Magic the Gathering cards, because that's kind of my nerd world, but I'll let you talk about emerging sports as well.
Yeah, so right now we know that Dapper has a contract with the UFC and with Dr. Seuss, as was mentioned earlier, so we know that those two are definitely coming. I've heard that there are rumors of conversations with the NFL, and I don't see any reason why the sports leagues wouldn't want to get involved here. It's nothing but positive. It seems to me to be a completely mutually beneficial relationship there. I personally think that if they could figure out PGA, that golf would be huge. I think that there's a lot of people that would be into this in the golf world. Golf seems to be getting more open to betting and talking about it on the broadcast and things like that. So I think there's opportunity there. And then, thinking outside of our little U.S. bubble too, like things like soccer would certainly be the most globally massive market. I know that there is a site called SoRare.com that is some sort of hybrid digital cards fantasy game with soccer. I haven't looked too much into that, but yeah, I think the opportunities are endless. And the Dr. Seuss thing really throws me for a loop, because I've been like, man, what if they have something with Disney and you can buy, a 10-second clip of Simba being held up on the rock? Like, I have no idea. The logistics of it would be insane.
My green eggs and ham NFT that I gift to my daughter on her 18th birthday. Okay, you can do whatever you want with it, kid. You're set up. Here's the fucking frozen Anna kisses Elsa moment.
Yeah,
It's insane. It's insane what's happening.
That's why I'm so bullish on Dapper, because they can scale this out. The possibilities are pretty endless for this, and I think it's going to be so big that I honestly expect them to be in that like Facebook level of company. Obviously, I'm not saying I would like bet that at even money or something, but I think that's the potential here for Dapper is that big.
Another question from chat from John Quayle. Any opinions on Karis LeVert? Did I say that right? Only two moments in circulation. Karis LeVert. Only 2 moments in circulation, nearing a historic feel-good story, returning from kidney cancer. March return likely. So sort of outside events like this seems like it could really affect the price. What do you think?
I definitely agree that outside effects can really impact prices. We saw just with the NBA All-Star reserve announcements, right? Anyone that was announced as an All-Star shot up, and it felt like anyone that wasn't, even if they were someone that was never going to be an All-Star, seemed to go down. So definitely think that the outside narratives come into play. I actually have not personally looked into LeVert too much, but I think that that makes complete sense. And honestly, any little narrative that you have, like I would just go with it and go with your gut. It's such a bull market right now that I think the worst thing you can do is wait on a decision. If you have conviction behind something, I would say jump right into it and then evaluate it after, which maybe is typically not great advice, but I truly believe that that's the way to approach this right now. Don't get caught up in paralysis by analysis. So that sounds very interesting. I'm going to look more into LeVert. I like that concept.
By analysis, also known as the aim, but never fire. You know,
Exactly.
We can circle back to that business speak. Love it on Market Mania here. Tony, you have emptied your sack once again, have you not?
Indeed. Let's get our pick of the day in.
Sack is empty. Everybody knows what that means for our longtime listeners. That means that we whip out the do your own research. This is not investment advice hat. We do a Mr. Rogers-like change. That'll be on the blockchain pretty soon. You can own the old iconic shoe change. Be sure to get the gold metallic hollow MX #1 of the Mr. Rogers. And we will now start the Market Mania pick of the day. Soon you will hop on pop on the blockchain, but for now it is only NBA Top Shot. TJ, thanks for joining us. Own the Moment is where you can find more of his thoughts and others on Top Shot. What is your pick of the day?
My pick of the day is one Bradley Beal from Top Shot, specifically here talking about the Series 2 Common, since that's the easiest entry point, although I am bullish on any of the Bradley Beal moments right now. I think that we've seen that scorers are kind of heavily valued on Top Shot relative to big men. We've noticed that big men do not seem to get as much love. Bradley Beal made the All-Star game. He's leading the league in scoring at 32.7 points per game. And I just feel that he's a little bit undervalued, and he's a nice flashy player. He's the kind of guy that can put up 50 points on a given night, right? And when he puts up 50 points on a given night, I could see that price just rocketing through the roof. So he's somebody that I have been targeting in my bag.
That might be All-Star night. He's starting in the All-Star game too. So
exactly.
I like him.
Richie, follow that up. Bradley Beal, TJ's pick of the day there. Another harder thing for Jack, our data guy, to come and track these over time. That'll be interesting. So, Brett, what is your pick of the day?
I'm rolling with Clint Capella, the Atlanta Hawks. He just signed up, tweeted about Top Shot the other day. He's a center, which is a traditionally hated category of player on the Top Shot marketplace. But the most interesting thing to me is he only has one moment on the site. It's 12,000 minute. It's the only one. He's leading the league in rebounds. Like, this guy is a good player. 51 for his only moment, to me, is like, it's on a guy that's interested in tweeting about Top Shot is just too cheap. Disclaimer, I have like 10 of these. So.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We show our own bags here on Market Mania. I'm going with my LeBron moment. Picked this gem out for like 100 and change like last week, and only bought it because it was players I had known. I know like 5 players in the NBA, turns out. And it's the three-pointer where he shoots a three, and he looks at the crowd, and it was LOLs when it goes in, and everybody goes nuts. And 15,000 minted, but maybe everybody wants one. Maybe really demand is that high. I'm going with this moment. Put it on the list, Jack. That is going to do it. One last thought on the big men. When they come out with that throwback Dikembe Mutombo, no. That's going to be off the charts, right? When the Dikembe moment. TJ,
I want that, yeah.
A 5,000 moment mint of Dikembe Mutombo, the original no. A good no, just any good no. What's the floor there? What's the floor on that?
Absolutely love it. I'm really excited to see when they come out with some cool throwbacks like that right now. They have a couple a new Run It Back series that is going to be coming out in the near future. I would love a Dikembe Mutombo. No. I would definitely pay for that.
Yeah, definitely appropriate to put on the old ape season hat to bring us out of this latest edition of Market Mania, Wednesday, February 24th. It was all Top Shot today. Other markets are doing things too, but we don't know what the hell's going on. There's digital basketball cards that are going nuts today. So we will leave you once again with a little quote, and we're going to go with, I guess we'll just have to go with, since everything's so crazy today, we'll go with OT Genasis and the Coco song. Goes something like this. 36, that's a kilo. Need a brick, miss my free throw. I'm in love just like Neo. Busting shots, now he Neo. Matrix. Free my homies, fuck the CO. Fuck the judge, fuck my PO. All this coke like I'm Nino. Water whip like I'm Nemo. Like and subscribe to this show right here on YouTube. And follow us at Market Mania Show on Twitter and on TikTok. We will see you tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow. But for now, it's lights out.
I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have. I never sleep. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Time to right the wrong. So your hands in the air if you like the song. If you're going over there, take it twice as long. Last time ain't talking about Tylenol. Oh, I bet you'd like to know. You can come around the way if you're trying to go. If you want to switch lanes for a pot of gold, or a domino, out of control. The usual. Get mad cause I'm looking at your girl. Switch it up. I do it so much louder than everything you've heard. Everybody heard, got the word that the world wasn't turning. Act like you're in a jury of how I've turned it, where I would turn it. Can't lie like Mississippi burning. Don't act like you're in a daze. I imagine you to look the other way. Couldn't clear space on my mind, was afraid of the time. Strobe lights like in the moonlight. I'm in the mood right now, how about tonight? My interview's tight now, I was